Hey there! Today I will show you the mods which I use for my custom real-life mod pack, also known as Moving Up in Los Santos. As always, there will be chapters if you want to go to a specific part. The full list of mods will expand with time, so either check the mod list, link in the description, from time to time, or if you happen to see me use a new mod in the episodes, you will find it in the list. In most cases, unless the mod's unavailable. So this video will give you a general idea of what mods I use and what they do. If you want more information, check the mod list, because that has way more information, such as like alternatives or how to fix issues and stuff like that. And I will make the assumption that you know how to install mods, but if not, I can make a video about it, although there are a lot of videos. I shouldn't have to say this, but looking at the amount of people spamming any mods websites and their discords with questions on how to install mods on console, this is for PC only. So that's a general disclaimer. Do keep in mind that I am running an older version of the game, specifically the Chop Shop DLC one, because newer versions break some mods which I use, which are no longer being updated or maintained, such as the police mod, and some other mods are kind of like flickering with the menus and stuff. So that's why I'm still in this version. And you will find a how to downgrade tutorial in the description or at the end of this video. Yeah, so firstly let's speedrun through the prerequisites. Obviously you need script hook v and script hook v.net, which they both load scripts and preload scripts and stuff like that. You need both of them. And then you'll most likely need iFruit add-on, which this mod allows mods which require a phone to work, but it's usually included with mods which require it. Up next we have Lemon UI, which allows mods which require interaction menu to work. After that we have Native UI, which is the same as Lemon, but is required for some older mods. Then you need a game config. Now game config saves your game from going boom after installing 3 car mods. That's nice. Same with heap adjuster, pack file adjuster, and weapons limit adjuster. They all do similar things, but they are required for different depending on what kind of mods you install, but I would say just install them all. They don't hurt. Probably the one that will save you the most amount of headaches is Pool Manager, because when your game does go boom, it will tell you why it went, and in most cases how to fix it. Up next we have Essentials. Simple native trainer does cool things, you need it, trust me. Menu, whatever, however it's pronounced, does a lot of cool things and saves a lot of cool things like loadouts, cars, etc. Rampage trainer, which has some features which the above don't. Time scaler makes time lapses happen. This is probably useless to you if you don't make videos. Scene director allows cinematic shots to happen, which is also most likely useless to you if you don't make videos. Up next we have character creation script, which allows you to make your own character and change its outfits. Then we have character swap, which is a mod which allows you to use any character, whether that's online or an NPC, like it's a main character, like you can use money and stuff. But unfortunately this mod is unavailable because the original mod creator took it down. At the same time it's unstable and kind of complex, but there is a alternative which I left in the mods list, so you can find that there. And now on the scripts. First of all we have the AS Universe. I don't know how to pronounce this properly. This is the mod which a lot of real life mod creators use, because this is the mod which allows you to have the Grab service, the Maze bank account, and some jobs and like college degrees and stuff. It's pretty cool. Similarly to character swap, ACU Universe is unavailable due to the original creator taking it down. I will leave some alternatives to ACU Universe in the mod list. Up next is Persistence 2 specifically, which allows you to lock cars and save them. It is kinda buggy sometimes, and if you happen to lock a car, which is either a mission vehicle or a vehicle that's spawned by like a mission script or anything like that, it will lose its mind. Up next we have Seatbelt. Keeps you from flying without a plane license every time you get into a car accident, if you know what I mean. Up next is For Exit, which allows you to control whether your car engine stays on or off when exiting a car. Up next we have Automatic Vehicle Door Opener. Allows you to open doors, trunk, and the hood without you having to get in the car, which is pretty nice. And up next we have Nitro, which, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Cargo fast. And then next up we have Auto Steering Fix, which allows your wheels to be left in a position you left them in when you know, exited your car or a bike or whatever that has wheels. Winch allows you to winch and tow cars as long as your car is strong enough to pull another one. We don't talk about that one. Up next we have Flatbed, which does the same as winch but with actual flatbed shocks. Then up next we have Explosion and Crash Fix, which makes your car not go boom when you land on its roof. Next up we have Wash and Repair at Home. These are two different scripts, but they're made by the same person. They do, well, what they advertise, which is one allows you to wash your car anywhere and another one allows you to repair it anywhere. Next up we have Lockpicking, which adds a fun little minigame for Mafia 2 when you try to steal cars. Or if you're like me, when you forget your keys somewhere. Can't tell you the amount of times where I lockpicked my own car. And then up next we have Better Jesus and Pull Me Over, which is the police system which I use. It has like tickets, fines, offenses, all that stuff. Although this mod works for me, people have been reporting for the past year and a half that it doesn't work. But as long as you follow the instructions, it will work. If you're on newer versions, it might flicker a little bit, but it will work. Next we have Binoculars, which allows you to use a telescope. Binoculars. Then we have Stance, which allows you to stance or prone. In other words, crouch system from like older GTAs, and prone system from, I don't know, Call of Duty or something. Next up we have Add-on Weapons, which allows you to buy add-on weapons from Ammunition. They won't save those, so do keep that in mind. You probably want to save them with another mod, like Menu for example. Although that does take some messing around, but it's definitely doable with Menu. Next we have gameplay fixes, which adds some quality of life stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that this mod does and I'm not going to list it all. If you're interested, I think it's in the mod list, so you can click on it and check it out. Don't... Right. That word, I don't know how to pronounce that. Which, this essentially allows NPCs not to die straight away from any impact like they do in the vanilla game. Next up we have Throwing Knives, which allows you to, well, throw chairs, obviously. And then next up we have Phone Detonation, which allows you to make sticky bombs go boom after calling a phone contact, similar to how car bombs were a thing in GTA4. Next up we have Hostages V, which allows you to take people without their consent. And it has some cool features. It's the only hostage mod that is available, and it can be used for other things, not just kidnapping people. If you need a specific NPC to follow you, that's like a good way of doing it without using trainers or mod menus or whatever. Next up we have the Earning and Spending Money tab. We have the Wheelman missions, which you rob stores with like a few people. Then we have one of my favorites, which is Vlad's Export Garage, where you find, steal and deliver specific cars for money. Similar to how all the GTAs had that side mission where you find and steal cars. Another one of my favorites is the Dismantle Cars, which allows you to scrap cars for money. Pretty self-explanatory. Then next up we have Premium Deluxe Motorsport Dealership, which is honestly the best dealership mod that allows you to buy any car you want for any price that you set on it, honestly. Add-on cars are supported, but you do need to add them manually, which can be a bit of a hassle if you're like me and have 600 car mods, but you know, you'll be fine, you'll manage it. Next up we have House Robberies, which is honestly the best house robbery mod because it has the most features. Like there's the pawn dealer, and there's, you know, there's a bunch of stuff like that you can find, like money, and then yeah, it's pretty cool. Check it out, definitely. It definitely has the most features. Next up we have Alice Life, which allows you to become a drug dealer and manage stash houses and deal drugs and hire other dealers so they work for you. You know, it's pretty cool. Then up next we have ATM robberies, which allows you to rob ATMs, as the name suggests. That's it. That's what it does. Then we have Convoys and Other Hits, which is it's kind of a mission pack type of mod. I used it in the Polito episode of Moving Up in Los. right next to the ATM mod. It's kind of like a mission pack, gives you money, you can rob like money trucks and do some other miscellaneous stuff, but it is kind of problematic. So like if you really want it, you can try it, but you know, it's kind of outdated. Then next up we have the Hitman mod, Reloaded, updated the 50 words that it has in its title because it's been like developed and dropped by like 4 different people, which essentially allows you to become Agent 47 and make people perish for money. Next up we have the Polito Bay heist, which allows you to rob the Polito Bank just like in story mode but not as dramatic. And the mod does have variations, so it won't be the same every time. For the first like 3 times or 4 times that you do it, most likely. Another one of my favorite mods has to be the Global Invest. This is the business mod which I'm using, which allows you to buy and earn from businesses. And it allows you to, you can pretty much add your own businesses whatever you want. Like literally whatever you want. You can add a business on Mount Chiliad or something. Now onto the look and feel of Moving Up in LS. First of all, we have the graphics mod, which is Visual V. It's a nice mod that's like vanilla friendly, and it looks decent, and it's also like kind of lightweight, so it allows you to run like a bunch of like R mods and scripts without making your computer go boom. A lot of people overlook it because it's like it's lore friendly, but it looks nice. Okay. Then we have Forests of San Andreas, which is the famous Forests mod used by a lot of content creators and 5M RP servers. Also includes some map additions like the Wooden Shack and Polito Forest, and some other things. It's pretty cool, honestly. I like it, but do keep in mind once you play with this mod, if you ever have to go back to vanilla, it will look so boring and dry. That's just a general warning, so yeah, keep that in mind. Then next up we have Realistic Blood, which is a mod which I chose for like bloods that like ghost places. Next up we have the Real Immersive Sounds, which is the gun sound pack, which I prefer. I do use the 1.2 version, but that does have some issues. If you're going to install it, check the mod notes. There is a new version, which is 1.3, which has been like completely changed. So keep that in mind. If you want to have the same one as me, you have to download 1.2. And now, houses, buildings, and interiors. First of all, we have the Marabunta Grande house, which is a great little house, which can be used for starting out or maybe as a gang hideout. And I used it in the first few episodes of the Moving Up in LS. It's pretty cool. It's a cool little house. There's definitely some bugs in it, but oh yeah, that's fine. Next up we have Casey's Diner. In one of my episodes I called it Casey's Dinner, and because I'm stupid like that, but it's actually Casey's Diner, which is honestly a great interior, perfectly ported from like GTA5, and it fits in the game flawlessly. It fits in the, you know, in the surrounding area. Like, effort has been put into that mod, and like it almost feels like aside from some minor bugs, it almost feels like a vanilla game interior, which is really nice, honestly. Then next up we have the Abandoned Laundromat, which it's a cool interior, but it's small. It's really small. Can be used for like all these specific things like businesses or kidnapping people. You know, just saying that for no reason at all. Next up we have Forest Mansion, which is probably my favorite mansion. And I've not used it in the episodes yet, but it's one of the first mods I installed when I was starting on the project. I actually used this house a lot while testing different mods for Moving Up in LS. So like it's a cool one. It's a cool one. And now weapons. Now every single weapon which I've installed and used in the videos is a add-on weapon. As for why I only use add-ons, I'll explain later. I won't go every single gun in the game which I've installed because there is a lot, but some of my favorites are the Glock 19 and Glock 20 by Fluffy, Pocket Lights and Baton by W... and Service Pistols by Hey Slick That's Me. Which, I mean, I generally like every single weapon that Slick has made because he does it with quality, honestly. Now on to vehicles. Same with weapons, only use add-on vehicles. These cars are tested and cherry-picked by me as I do have a higher quality requirements than most people. as I make videos, so I need the cars to look good and be good, if that makes any sense. So like my requirements for a car are like windows, like cannot have like tint issues or like God mode, because like a lot of car mods have that. Another one of my requirements is all car panels should be there and not missing upon like the car being spawned in. Because some mod creators decide to port cars from like Forza or like these like higher fidelity games, and they have to make it so like only half the car spawns in and you have to add the other half to make it so the game can actually render the car without crashing. Which I mean, in that case, I don't need a car like that, which is unstable. Another requirement which I have is lights, including indicators, should work. There are some vehicles which do have indicators, but like they're like hardly visible, but they still have it. And also, last thing is the car should not cause issues with other mods and the game in general. Like I mentioned before, the cars which are being ported from higher fidelity games usually cause issues of textures and map issues and other stuff. Now there are a couple of exceptions for some more like rare, like less available models, but those issues are minor and not game breaking. So like could be that one of the cars in the mod list maybe has like a not perfectly mapped glass or some minor like glass breaking issues, but I guarantee you, at least to my knowledge, none of the cars in my list have like tint issues or especially God mode issues or anything like that, or any of the things that I mentioned. There might be some slight issues, but nothing that would like break your experience. And the list of the cars is long. Currently, the list of vehicles that are installed and moving up in the list, that list is nearing like 500 cars. So I will not be talking about every single one, otherwise this video will not come out until GTA 6 comes out. Why only add-ons? I find that add-ons are more practical and less of a headache. Replace versions of cars and guns can cause corruption issues even if you delete and restore the original file, while if an add-on is broken you can uninstall it, in most cases you're good. When it comes to replace versions of cars, they also spawn in traffic, which will eventually break your game in one way or another, either because of their file size or because they will be colliding with something. And technically speaking, if you wanted to, you could even play story mode with add-ons, while with replace mods, the game will most likely crash if it attempts to load in a replaced vehicle into a cutscene. And now this is how I set up for an episode, because this does take some sort of a setup. So if you have the exact same mods that I do, if you install them all, for at least some of them, this is how I set up an episode. The first thing I do is I set up the character. I use the simple native trainer and I look for the character, and then I load said character, and then I load the clothing which I have pre-saved. I prefer to do this in the native trainer simply because it's easier for me. So after I load my clothing, this is a little bit tricky. So this is why character swap is complicated, because you have to open up character swap to the character of your choice, which in my case I'm using Franklin as a disguise. So essentially the game thinks that my character here is Franklin, and now it'll most likely not work the first time. The way that I test if it works properly is I go to add money and I try to add $1. If nothing pops up in the corner, that means it does not work, in which case I swap back to Franklin, then I swap back to the character which I want, then I go again into this and I set it to online character, change the outfit again, back to character swap, and I swap it to Franklin. And then if I test it now, you should see the $1 got added. Therefore that means the mod is working. Then up next, depending on an episode and how I finished off the last episode, I usually either have my cars loaded in already by the persistence mod. If not, I usually load them in through the object spooner in the menu trainer, finding the cars parked file and loading it. And then once it's loaded, the cars are here. And as you can see, the Mercedes, the F-150 and the Grand Victoria, they're all here. have like multiple files for depending on what cars I want to be here, you know, in case somebody stole one or someone's in a mechanic shop or whatever it may be. I also have these cars saved individually in the menu, trainer, in case I ever need them, because they do sometimes. The mods mess up and they tend to disappear. Now the last thing which I have to set up is the weapons, which I go into the moving up in the list, and I used to do it by episode, as you can see here, but now I just have a general one which I just update. So I apply it, and then I remove any weapons that might have accidentally gotten into the list, like the shotgun. Every time I finish up an episode, I take a screenshot of how much ammo every single weapon has, and then I just set it manually. Like for example, I know that let's just say hypothetically, I know that my Glock is like at last episode, let's just say it was at 230 bullets, so I set it right here. And now in most cases I'm good to go. And then I record the episode, and then we're done. And now if you have any more questions or anything, make sure to let me know. Or if you want me to maybe make a video about something specific. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or requests, let me know. And also, if you want to know how to downgrade GTA5 to either the version which I'm using, Chop Shop DLC version, or maybe even an older one, I made a video on my new channel, my tutorials channel. You can check it out by clicking on screen like now. Check it out. You can downgrade GTA5 or any other game really, as long as it's on Steam. If it's on Epic Games or Rockstar Games Launcher, I am sorry, I am unable to help you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.